Hey, what's going on? It's Andre, and in this video, I wanted to show you how to set up a cold email system to help you generate unlimited leads for yourself and for your clients, and how we actually use this system to generate anywhere from 5 to 7 warm, booked prospects into our accounts, and how we're able to close at least one of them every single week, right? From this exact same system. Now, this is a video that I wish I would have seen when I first got started, when I first started my email marketing agency, because it's going to be simple, direct, and to the point, right? Whereas most videos out there, there are long tutorials that take anywhere from 60 minutes to a couple hours to watch all the way through. And by the time you're done with it, you're just bombarded by so many details and this and that, and it's kind of hard to even get started, right? So this is going to be a very quick and concise video, right? So this is going to cover 10 simple steps to help you launch your email leads campaign so you can generate warm, booked leads for life, right? And number one would be to buy 10 domains, right? So we actually use Cloudflare to buy 10 domains. Now, when you're thinking about what domains to buy, this is actually an example from one of our clients. Let's say our client's name is DataTellAZ, right? So that's the name of their main domain. You would want to buy 10 similar domains that are related to DataTellAZ, right? So we actually bought them DataTell Electricity, DataTell Low Volt, DataTell Volts, DataTell Voltage, stuff like that, right? And you want to buy 10 of these. Now, after you buy 10 of these domains, then you want to go into, we use Microsoft 365, right? Then you want to buy 2 emails per domain. Now, it's really crucial that you only buy 2 emails per domain because each domain can only take around 70 emails per, right? So if you buy 3 emails per domain, then you're not going to be able to send as many emails per email. Many emails per email. Yeah, that's how it's said. And I know it sounds a little confusing, but you're going to understand later on in this video, right? So then you want to go into Microsoft 365 and buy 2 emails per domain, right? So that's going to be around 20 email accounts. And from these email accounts, you want to make them sound like they're from yourself, right? So they're professional, right? You definitely don't want to send from an average Gmail account. Nobody's going to take you seriously like that. So let's say, I was, creating a company, and I do have a company. It's called WealthLink Media. All my emails are going to be sent from Andre at WealthLink, something that sounds like WealthLink Media, right? So for this example, it's WealthLink Advertising, WealthLink Connections, WealthLink Growth, stuff like that. And then in the beginning, it's just going to have my name, right? Because when people go to your emails, one of the first things that they're going to do is search you on Google, or at least that's what I would do, is search you on Google. And if they're not able to find you based on your email on Google, well, they're not going to trust you, right? So when you search Andre at WealthLink Appointments, Andre at WealthLink Sales, blah, 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 most likely what's going to come up first is my LinkedIn page, and they're going to be able to click on that and actually, get to know a little bit more about me, right? My LinkedIn page, my YouTube, stuff like that. So it's really, really important that you put just your first or your last name to start off each one of these emails, and then something that goes aligned with your actual company right after, right? So ours is WealthLink Media. Anything like WealthLink Media would work just fine, right? So after that, then you want to set up the DNS records for your email accounts. So that's actually really easy to do. There's 3 main records that you want to set up to make sure that they're actually landing in the inboxes, right? Because if you set all your emails up and you don't end up sending this part and they don't land in the the inboxes, and they all land in spam, well, then you're just doing this whole thing for nothing, right? So this part is super, super important, right? So when you set up your accounts in Outlook, they're already going to get the SPF records, so you don't have to worry about the SPF records, but the only thing you actually have to worry about is the DKIM and the DMARC records, right? And in order to set up the DKIM records, again, I'm not going to make this a super lengthy video, but basically all you have to do is go into Outlook, type in DKIM, and then set it up that way, right? And then you go in your Cloudflare account and set up the DNS records from there, right? And then the other one to set up is DMARC, right? So after you do the DKIM, and you add them in here, then the next one would be to set up the DMARC, and I actually use easydmarc.com. Then I go to tools, and then I go to record generator, just like that. And then I plug all of this in. Again, I'm not going to get into the details, but then you put in the DMARC records after you plug in everything in the Cloudflare account as well, right? So you want to make sure you have the SPF, the DMARC, and the DKIM, right? And once you have all 3 of those, Then you want to add the emails to SmartLead. So SmartLead is the system that we actually use to send out 1,500 personalized emails to our ICP every single day, right? So it's one of the best tools to use. You can also use, Instantly.ai, and there's some other ones, but SmartLead I found works the best for me and for our clients. So just to give you an example here, it's super easy to add. You just hit add account, and then you go to Outlook, right? And then you start adding all of your email accounts. So that is step 4. Step 5 would be to set up the email structure within SmartLead, right? So then we're going back to SmartLead. Again, this isn't going to be a super long video, so I'm just going to cover the basics. So in SmartLead, you want to make sure you're sending only 35 emails per day. And right now it's actually even less. So you probably want to do more like 25 emails a day per email. That way you're not, going to be marked as spam and your emails aren't going to bounce. So you can continue sending emails for a long period of time. Then you're going to want to add your signature, right? So that's just going to be your first, last name, CEO at your business, right? And then you want to set up the email deliverability. So you want to set up the custom tracking domain, super, super important. So then you set this up just like you set up the other DNS records, right? So you copy and paste this and you put it into here, right? And then you come back here and you just hit verify and you hit save, right? And then right after that, last but not least, you want to set up the email warm-up process. So that's going to be 30 emails or 30 warm-up emails a day. Then you want to do a ramp-up process of around 4, right? And then randomized number of warm-ups. It starts at like 5 to 40, right? So you probably want to increase it anywhere from 20 to 40. And then when you start the actual campaign, then you want to put it in the range of 25 to 30, right? So the reply rate is going to be anywhere from 45% or less. When you start the email campaign, again, you want to be at 45%. And that is pretty much how you set it all up in SmartLead, right? And then number 6 is to create the actual email campaign itself, right? So then we go back into SmartLead. Once we got all of this set up and everything's pretty much good to go, then we create our campaign, which is just a 3 to 5 email follow-up sequence, right? And it's going to look something like this. Now, the reason why it kind of has a weird look and there's a bunch of different words is because this is what's called spin tax, and that just makes it so that every email you send out is going to be hyper-personalized and it's going to be different, right? So if they're not hyper-personalized, they're not going to get very much responses. So we cover this by, adding contacts, and when we upload the actual leads list, it's going to gather those contacts, and then whenever we put it in here, like it says first name, well, it's not going to be first name when we actually send out the email. It's going to have their name in it. So it's going to be happy day of the week, George, happy day of the week, John, hyper-personalized emails. And we use spin tax to change up every single line and every single word that we can, right? So basically, we're sending out the same messages, but all in a different way, so we don't get marked as spam, and Outlook doesn't see us as a spammer, right? So you have to do these instructions, otherwise you're going to be marked as spam. You can't go over these. They're super, super important in order for your emails to stay healthy long term, right? And then we test out a couple of different subjects, right? And then we test out not just subjects, but a couple of different email campaigns, right? And we see which one works better. So we usually test out a longer one that is more about, the benefits. And then we test out another one saying, hey, do you want our product? And then in the long run, we pick which one works better. And again, you want to find a follow-up sequence that works for you. We find that, waiting 3 to 5 business days works the best for us. And then we set up another follow-up email and then another follow-up email. So for this campaign, it's 3 total, but you should be doing anywhere from, 3 to 7 follow-up emails. Definitely nothing more than 7. And then once you have the campaign set up here, then you want to scrape the leads, right? So you got pretty much everything ready to go. Now all you need to do is scrape all of your leads. Now, in order to scrape the leads, we use a software called Apollo. And what we're trying to do in Apollo is just get our ICP down to the T. So this was actually a client that I helped gather, investment opportunities with. He's got a company kind of like Happy Dad. It's like an alcohol beverage company, and he wants to get a bunch of investors, right? So I helped him gather a leads list of 23,000 people, of just investors, right? Just investors themselves. But most of the time, I'm trying to target, CEOs, decision makers, CMOs, people like that, right? People that can make decisions. But for this is going to be a little different. But it doesn't matter who you're targeting. You want to make sure that it's hyper personalized to what your business is. This is another extremely important part. If you get this part wrong, your emails are not going to work, right? Because it's going to be hitting the wrong people. So you want to make sure you're targeting your direct ideal customer profile. Then underneath, it would help if you knew how big the businesses are that you're going after. So you can tell Apollo how many employees that your business has. That helps out a lot. And then you pick the country or the states that you want to target them. For most businesses, we're just targeting United States, right? And then after that, we're going to use something called Magically Genius, and we're going to plug in that URL here, put in the email that you want to send the leads list to, and then we're going to pick the number of leads that you want. It can only go up to 50,000, right? And then you're going to hit submit, and it's going to send you all the leads directly to your email, right? And so that would be step 7. Step 8 would be to verify the lead. So once you get all of the leads list from Apollo and Magically Genius sent to your email, then you're going to put it in a tool called Million Verifier. And this is super easy to use, right? So I'm going to log in really quickly. But basically you enter in, you plug in your big leads list that you have. So anywhere from, 30 to 50,000 people. Ideally, you plug it in here. And then it's going to verify all of the emails that are actually working. So when you send out mass emails, they're not going to send it to a bunch of spam emails and they're going to get, potentially a lot of bounces, right? We don't want that. We want our emails to stay healthy for the long term. In order to do that, we have to clean the leads list, right? So you put it in here, and most of the time you're going to get, maybe 50, 30% of the emails are going to be actually good to use. So if you scrape a leads list of 30,000, 50,000 people, you might only have, 15,000 people that you can actually send the emails to from Apollo, which is fine, right? So we take that leads list, and after we take that leads list, then we upload that leads list into SmartLead, right? So that's super easy. That's when we're creating the campaign here. That's going to be in this section. We just click upload CSV file. And then from there, we're pretty much good to go. We have the emails ready to go with all the follow-up sequences. We have your direct ICP that we want to target. And from there, all you have to do is wait 2 weeks, because there's a warm-up process that forces you to wait 2 weeks in SmartLead to make sure that the emails are going to actually land in the inboxes, again, so you don't get marked as spam, so you can send emails for the long run. And then after 2 weeks, you can launch the campaigns. And then last but not least is you just want to monitor these campaigns and make sure that they're always optimizing for the best performance possible, right? So this is an example of a couple different emails. This is 40% that are actually open. This is 42% that are actually open. I like to be anywhere from 50 to 70% open email rates. And that just makes sure that, that the emails are actually going through to the accounts. Last couple weeks was it was kind of a hard month because it was Easter and a lot of people are on vacation. So these email open rates aren't necessarily typical from what we normally expect, right? And then you want to make sure that your reply rate is high or high enough, and you're consistently sending out good emails that people are actually, interested in, right? And SmartLead is a great tool to allow you to track the emails in the long run, to make sure that you're sending out, emails, again, that people are interested in, that they're going to reply back to. So when they do reply back to you, you just send them a link, usually of, a funnel or a website that has a video of you talking with some testimonials on it, right? But that's something that we'll get into during, another video. This video was specifically just to show you how to set up the actual email structure so you can begin the process of sending 1,500 emails directed towards your ICP. So if you found this video helpful, go ahead and like, subscribe, do all that stuff. And if you have any specific questions on how to set up anything, I'm here to help you guys out. So go ahead and comment that below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.